Hey, 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 it's Kimberly Smith Austin here, and I want to welcome you back to another episode of the Made to Inspire podcast. I am here with my awesome and amazing co host, Misty Kerrigan. Hey, Misty.
Hey, Kimberly. Happy last day of October.
Yes, indeed. We are here. We made it 31 days through October. And what a great day. It's the last day of pink, guys. So you won't see me in my pink. Well, you may, but not as often. So, and I'm dressed up today for Halloween.
What are you at? What are you dressed up as?
I am a survivor, breast cancer survivor.
Even has for those of you who can't see, it has the Made to Be Fit logo all in
There
pink.
you go. There you go. There you go. Yes, yes.
Speaking of the Made to Be Fit logo, and last week we are getting a lot of people calling or stopping us and saying they really loved the 5 marketing tips last week.
Yes.
That's exciting.
It really is, because our goal, and I know our goal is to come here every single week and provide you with some nuggets that you can use to grow so you can go out into the marketplace and really transform your business, your life, and your health. So every week we're here, that's our goal. So we want to encourage you, if you haven't already, go on to Apple, go on to Spotify, and send us a review. Let us know what you're thinking, how this show is impacting you.
We love it. We love it, love it. Even the feedback. We're
That's
here for
right.
you. So how do we make it better? And in a couple of the things I think that were really great, and me and Kimberly say all the time, is what can we give you that you could use today?
Yeah.
That in your next conversation or your next call or when you're jumping on your social media, something that we said you could be like, oh my gosh, I want to try it. Try it on.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
And last week, what did we
Yep.
tell the people we were going to bring them?
In the middle of the show, we got inspired. We were talking, we were having so much fun. And one of the things we talked about is having that call to action, right? The call to action. And today's show is going to focus all about that, guys. And I know some of you, this may be a very familiar term, and for others, maybe it's brand new. So we want to talk to you about what this call to action, also known as CTA, the letter cat, tower, apple. I couldn't think of anything, but that's what we get today, your call to action.
And we wanted to expand it. We do want to talk about some great ideas for your sites, for your emails, your social media posts, your websites. And one of the most important things that people miss out on those opportunities is those person-to-person calls to action without just handing someone your business card and walking away.
Absolutely. It's so funny because as we talk about the show, I'm going to talk about tonight. I went to a trick-or-treating thing, Halloween thing, and there I had 2 encounters with face-to-face and was given the opportunity to put in a call to action.
Really?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Yes, indeed. So excited to talk about that. So, Missy, shall we get the show started?
Let's jump in.
All right. Well, let's kick it off. And will you tell them what a call to action is? What is this CTA, call to action thing that we talk about?
Well, for a call to action is a lot of times when we're out at different events or we see things, we meet amazing people, or I even been to different seminars and they've given me some great stuff. And then I get motivated or inspirational and we're like, yay, and we have a few shows on it. And then that starts to dissipate. And then it kind of go back to normal, right? So what a call to action does is it helps the person in that moment make a commitment to further the conversation or to get into action, if you will, with where it is you're taking them on your customer journey. What is that process so you can get people down your funnel all the way from stranger to raving fan? The call to action is, what do they do next?
Yes, yes, yes. I love that. And I think as business owners, whether you're an entrepreneur, an emerging leader, maybe you're an executive inside a corporation, there's always a call to action. What is that thing, that prompt, that next thing you want to inspire the person you're working with? In your case, business owners, your target audience. What do you want them to do next? What action do you want them to take? And so that's what we're going to talk about today, trying to encourage people to keep going to the next step. And I think about social media and how prevalent it is today. And what we see is that people put posts up all day long. But if you're in business, your post should have some form of call to action. Okay, I've watched your pretty pictures. I've seen your delicious food. I've seen your marketing approach. What do you want me to do now? Or is it just eye candy? And realistically, if you're building a business, there should always, let me say that again, always be a call to action.
Really?
That's right.
What are some quick call to actions for our social media people if you're posting really quick?
Well, directly, it could be something like a text link. Just in the middle of your correspondence, you're saying, okay, great, you saw this, you love it. Now, DM me, buy this, click here, right? A button there, or maybe some text that you would include to get them to take that next action. Download this. Those are probably some of the most common. Buy now, download are some of the common or typical examples of a call to action. But you know what? I've seen them where they're a lot longer than that. Maybe subscribe to my newsletter so you'll never miss a post again. I think the possibilities are endless, but the whole thing goes back to some sort of action.
And I
Don't just
love that
get them
because
there.
sometimes you just see people post like, oh, there's an event coming up.
Yep.
So even as something as simple as to learn more about it.
Yep.
If there's
Or
something you might
asking
be
a
interested in,
question.
right?
Yeah, or even asking a question. What are you today? If it's Thankful Thursday and you write a picture and you write this great grand thing about all the people in your life you're thankful for, maybe ask the question, who are you thankful for? Drop in the comments below. See, call to action. Drop in the comments below who you're thankful for and kind of go from there.
I love that because if you think about it, just as something as simple as drop in the comments, someone drops in the comments, the next process could be you respond in the comments.
That's
so
right.
You're getting that. It's like we've done it before. It's like that dance.
Yes.
Even if it's simple and make it simple, what can they do next to show engagement?
Yes. One of the things I get often, I hear people saying, why do I need a call to action? Because I think it's a realistic question. Why can't I just show my food pictures? Why can't I just show that I was at this great company? The reason you want a call to action because you want to engage and interact with that target audience. And without some sort of directive or direction, people will do nothing other than watch. I know I hear people all the time that say they scroll, 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 and scroll. But I think when they see people who actually ask a question, more likely they'll get a response. But most people are not putting a call to action. Therefore, there's all these scrollers on social media just scrolling, looking, watching, reading, and not ingesting or interacting with the content.
That's very, very true. There's no call to action, it's the next step action is going to be to move forward with something else.
That's right.
Swipe.
Love it.
So
then go ahead. So when you think about it, we talked about what is a call to action? Why do you need it? What about when and how do you use it? And we've kind of given some examples, Misty, but maybe you have some others you'd like to share.
So in one of the things, the call to action is where we have on your business cards, a very simple call to action on your business cards so that people utilize them instead of just giving here's my information. Back of this one, you could kind of see if you're watching us is a thing you could scan. And so you want to make your business card a gift card. So something that they have to do would be a call to action instead of just taking a card, be like, oh my gosh, let me give you this download of how to be the best mom in the world or how to take your business to 1 million in 60 days. Then it's really easy on the back to scan or download something because even your business card could be a call to action if there's something on it that has action.
Yes. I love that. And, because there's something there, the free gift concept, Misty, guess what they probably won't do with your business card?
Toss it.
That's right. They're less likely to throw it away. And I tell you, that's valuable. I know you and I just created our speaker note sheets. And on the speaker note sheet, there's our picture. There's a little bit about our profile. But guess what? There's a QR code that gets them to scan whether we're speaking, maybe it's the speaker notes, maybe it's some free offer, maybe it's something else. Those people are not going to throw that away. One, they took notes on it. And two, there's a valuable resource that more than likely they want and need that's going to keep it in their hands.
And our call to action was, we don't throw away our own notes.
That's right. So there's a lot of stuff that you can do if you really get creative and think about, what are you doing and what do you want to do with that ideal client? And I use the word, what do you want to do, or what kind of interaction do you want to create? Because it starts with the first interaction. If you look at our episodes regarding the dance, you'll see it's a nurturing process. It's a connection process. You have to get engaged with them in order to get them interested. And you do that by asking questions. Remember, it's all about being interested and not interesting. And so as you present your information out there to that ideal client, ask them a question. Get them engaging with you so you can begin nurturing that relationship and moving them to the next step in your funnel.
I love that, because if you notice that people that are interested in you, you have more comfortable talking. And we've all been through that thing where people ask a question and then they don't shut up long enough to have you answer it. So it's that whole like, oh, well, if he's that interested, if they really want me to have this gift, I think there's a big difference, and we could fill in a conversation between I'm a sale and or you want to help me. The whole premise of this too is, and Kimberly, you do it really well with your kind of succession when you're listening, but you're also asking some questions, is looking for, are they qualified? Is there something they need that you have? Because the whole, like call to action to someone that really isn't going to benefit from you, that's a waste of time. But if you're finding that you're connecting and there's a problem you could solve, then that's an amazing call to action. Even with us, I think another thing that, because we know so many, being in this business, coaching so many people, and we hear a problem, we're like the first ones to come over there and be like, I know somebody. But even then we have a call to action to, do you want their number? Do you want me to get them in contact with you? But getting that someone else connected into the call to action. Do you mind if I give them your number and have them follow up with you, is still a call to action to help somebody.
That's right. And we talked about that in the previous show. At that point, you become a trusted advisor, and you're viewed to them as someone who genuinely care and concern about their needs, because it wasn't just about you making the sale. And that's a whole nother show.
That's good.
Just about you making the show. You're building the relationship, and you're being a connector to connect them to the dot to get to their end result. There's power right there. And when you can do that, you really position yourself in the right way.
That was good. Being someone's ambassador, we talked about that too. But then also really having that heart to serve. You want to help people if there's something that they need, and there's someone that that you trust, like and trust, you'll be able to do that. So in those conversations, what are some of the ways you have called to actions in person, Kimberly?
Well, as you said, it's really important to try to get to know the person, just kind of asking those basic questions about the form or the Ford: family, occupation, recreation, money, or, those, or how they dream. D, if you use Ford or form system, whichever you use, you're finding out those basic questions from them. And as you listen, notice I said listen, I didn't say speak. You're speaking the question, but then you're quietly listening to their responses. And as a result of listening, you then think about, okay, is there a product, a service, a need that I can then respond to? And know that those first encounters are not necessarily designed to close the sale. Those first encounters are to create that relationship and begin building rapport. That's where it starts. And I think something that people do is they're quick to rush the relationship. And as a result of that, because they're moving at 1,000 speed per hour, they'll miss it because they're trying to close the deal. No, relationships take time. They take time. And that is why having call to actions on your communication, whether it be email, whether it's social media, asking questions, getting into engagement and conversation with these folks. Because once they engage with your question, a strategy on social media says, then go to their page and start engaging with them on their page. Oh, beautiful picture. I mean, there's a lot of strategy out here to really get that relationship built and start building that rapport. It's not a one-hit wonder. It's a work in progress, time and more time to really build that relationship, which in turn, hopefully, will produce a new client in the long run. If you do
And we've
well.
talked on other episodes where it's not 2 to 3 asks, it's anywhere from 8, most common after 12 asks.
That's right.
So when you're doing a call to action, sometimes it's just an invite somewhere or an invite to let's get coffee, or I have a thing coming up, would you like to go? Or, you know, like there's a group I'm in, I think you would be interested, would you like to go? So it could be every time you see them is an invite to something that may benefit them. And maybe and we've seen this before where people then come out a few invites later and they're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, I wish I would have come sooner. Like there's never been like, oh, I wasted my time. It's always usually, wow, thank you for keep inviting me.
Right.
I'm glad I finally made it out here.
That's right. And I think you said something well. The power of persistence. We can't quit after the first try, guys. And that's why you keep showing up persistent, but also consistently, right? When we step away from the car and we disappear, it leaves those folks that are engaged with us in wonder, where did they go? What happened? And then you show back up 6 weeks or 6 months later. We have to really change the game and think about, if we're trying to build our business, our nonprofit, our organization, our department, our team, that we really, really have to be consistent. You know, people look for consistency. That's how they form trust and judgment about if you're the right person to work with or not.
That was good. I like that. Be persistently consistent.
Yeah. So, Missy, now that we've talked a little bit about it, let's get into some action steps. I know how, now that they've understand what call to action is, let's give them 3 action steps that they can take to really get in motion with this thing. So, Missy, what's number 1?
One of the ones, and I don't know if this is in any order, but get them into action by using a verb. Use a verb for them to know what's next, and be simple. Don't overcomplicate it.
Love that. So some examples of that would be like what? Let's say you're a nonprofit, your nonprofit industry. What are some terms that you could use for nonprofit?
So in the nonprofit, some of the stuff we have is like, would you like to donate? Verb. Commit to. A lot of times too is before people donate money, maybe they could donate time by volunteering. Yeah. So we have different opportunities for volunteers, or different opportunities for businesses to volunteer. So the whole business comes out. And I know in some of those we do like adopt a youth. You know, like you could at Christmas time, there's a lot like adopt a family. Sure. Some other ones, give. Give today, love give it. Now. Yeah. And then always support. Support us by, and then giving them a couple of those things, how they could support. Sometimes people don't maybe not have the money, but they might be brilliant at something, can donate their wisdom. That's or good. Their knowledge or their time. So it's important to always have that when you're putting them into action, that it's not always action, donate now. Right. I love that. That's so powerful for people that maybe are building nonprofits and organizations of that nature. And I know for those of you out there building maybe a traditional business, some of the words that we mentioned earlier were buy, you know, subscribe now, if it's like a newsletter, download now, or learn more. And that's a key one. I think I did a reel last week and I says, if you want to learn more, subscribe and save, you know, giving them some action to do so that next step is taken. Also think about click here. You could say check it out or start today. Those are all actions. Swipe up, which is a common one on Instagram. Swipe up to learn more. So there's a lot of words that you can use for your call to action to get your prospect into action. And then they got really smart because think about online, what do people love to do when they shop? Put stuff in their cart. Yes. Sometimes they'll take stuff out of their cart, but it's fun when you're going through the store putting stuff in your cart. And so they did the same thing online, right? Where it's all add to cart. Yeah. Now, Amazon kind of bypassed that and is like buy it now, but you could still have a cart on Amazon even. That's good. So now that we get them into action, the second step is to get them pumped.
I love that. Get them fired up. Bring some emotion and enthusiasm. If you really want to really evoke an emotional response in your users, opt for maybe a longer call to action. Think about how you can get it, like buy now to get 50% off. People are hungry, so they see 50% off. They're like, yes, I want it. Or maybe find your dream home with us, lose weight in 5 days. Those are action words that really get them excited, get them pumping, like, I want to know more. I want to know more. How do I do it? Where do I go? What do I do? That's one of the key ones. And when you're really thinking about taking them to that next level.
I love that. And getting someone excited and in action, that's momentum.
That's right. That's right. And then our last one, Misty, is what?
I love this one. We've heard it as maybe be creative or find different ways, but I love authenticity. Be original, be yourself. I think people could tell when you're outside of your comfort zone. So maybe bringing the call to action back into something you're feel comfortable with. I know a lot of your call to actions is, hey, come on a run. Let's go on a hike. So depending on the person, sometimes you might take them one-on-one for their first sort of back getting in shape, or you might invite them to a group thing. Mm-hmm. So that's original. You love working out with others, by yourself. We could find you any day of the week doing something physical. And if someone's around, you're like, hey, come with us, grab some skates, grab your water, let's go. And I love that. And for me, one of mine is like, let's grab a coffee. Mm-hmm. And even when someone says, I don't drink coffee, I'm like, perfect, they have tea and water, let's go.
And that's one of my favorites. I'm like, and I always do it because most people drink coffee, but let's grab a smoothie / tea, right? And really just taking that action to say what's next. And the great thing, I know we talked a lot about the online, but that in person, do it just the same. Some sort of action. Like, I left this event and I told the lady, hey, when I get home, I will send you XYZ so you can do X, Y, and Z. So there was some action from both parties. And now that sets her up in position to take that next step that she desired. So always have something in your back pocket, a game plan, a call to action to get your ideal client in motion.
I love that. And I love how you kind of already set that up. If people love, there's the law of reciprocity. How do you say it?
Reciprocity.
The law of that. Say it again.
Mm-hmm. Reciprocity.
Mm-hmm. And that is that energy. If someone's doing something for me, I feel like I got to do something back. So if you're taking the first steps, they might be more comfortable taking the second step. So I got to go home and get it together and then send it to you. Then they know that you genuinely wanted them to have it, and they're more likely to open it, or more likely to do whatever that call to action says in there. And then that's a great follow-up with you don't stay out of action. Hey, did you read that? Did you get what I sent you? Did you have any questions? If you have them in an action, then you could stay in an action. It's verb for verb, and that's a great way to follow up to see if they took the action. But that's a whole other show.
That's it. And I'll tell you, it's so exciting because when you put out a call to action and people start responding, there is great joy that happens because, who wants to put a post up and put a question and there's crickets? But when you start doing it often and regular enough, number one, your audience will see that you're looking for engaging, you're looking for responses. So just because you don't get it the first time, no worries, right? Keep at it. Over time, it will produce. And here's the cool thing. Even if you're not seeing it, maybe reach out to a friend and say, hey, send them the link to that post, check it out. Sometimes we have to engage our own audience or prospective clients, someone you're working with. Hey, check out that post I just put up on social media. I think you might be appealing to you. So sometimes I go find my audience if they don't naturally or organically show up, because I know that this is a need for them and I'll bring it to their attention.
That's good.
So guys, as you see right here, call to actions to get you going. Remember 3 things. Get them in action. Number 1. Number 2, get them pumped up and ready to go. And you get creative in creating your own call to actions. You don't have to follow the standard form. Create what appeals to you and that you think will reach your target audience. So like we say every single week, Misty, there's something out there waiting for you.
Now go get it.